Alright, let's hope this works. Let's hope this works. Welcome everybody to the second round of DRC 2026. Well, technically, it's the 2025 game, but you guys know what I mean. Today, we'll have a live stream. Today, it'll not be Zabby. Because, Zabby hates everybody. No, I'm joking. Today, it'll be me. I will not introduce myself because I don't feel like it. I'll get some smaller things sorted before we go into qualifying. But yeah, welcome. My name is TMC or Tentroxinator or however you want to call it. And today I shall be your host. Let me go in here, fix my Discord because I didn't do that. Alrighty. It's a little bit yucky. I'm gonna... There we go. There it fixed itself. I hope it works on the stream as well. We will be seeing that momentarily. Currently does not want to work how it does. How it should. So... Let's just see. I disconnected it. Oh, that's nice. That's interesting. Well, it's great to know that a lot of things work and a lot of things don't. Alright, we'll be working on a rejoin, and then I'll see how I make this overlay work properly. will hopefully be an easy fix, and then we can go into the action. I do apologize for the small delays. I kind of jumped into this like last second. So I'll be joining the lobby, and then we will be looking into how we're making this work. I don't know if this is how it's supposed to work. If not, we'll be looking into it a bit more, because it doesn't look like it's supposed to work like this. We also found someone who doesn't know how to turn telemetry on. Hey! If it doesn't work like it's supposed to, which it seems like it doesn't, we'll be trying something else. Don't worry about it. There we go. Now it should work. And we still have 12 minutes of qualifying left. So it's all fine in the end. It's all fine in the end. Don't worry about it. We're looking at rate. Right? Oh, it's my internet. Did my internet die again? No, it didn't. I have a few people in the pits. Prototype doesn't look like to be one of them, considering he's using his ERS. But he's also not really improving on this lap. And with that, we'll hopefully have found a good setting to be able to bring you the action here today. Obviously, this tower does what it wants anyway, so hopefully it'll all work out today. Anyway, glad you have found us here for DRC. Gonna look what Proto can do. And it is a timed improvement, by the looks of it. Gotta see if this Merc can do the same with improving. It's a green first sector, just about 3/10 up. Obviously, we sadly don't know which Merc it is, but we will try our best. It's an improvement from the test I had last week about people and their telemetry. Obviously, I also haven't commentated in a while, so I'm sorry if this all sounds a little bit yucky. We'll be looking what the Merc can do here, though. 10 minutes about in qualifying left. Then we'll have a little break. where you'll be stuck even more with me, and then we will go into 28 laps of action. Currently, all 3 Red Bull drivers in front. First the 2 Red Bull drivers, and then Kimi Rai in third, who had a good Spanish Grand Prix. Sadly not the expected ending, though. Oh, that's not good. Pressing clutch instead of brake is maybe not the most optimal. But there's a long race ahead of you. Don't worry about it. I like how we have a little bit of the team radio things here. Spooderman had, as far as I remember, a relatively decent start to his campaign last week. After maybe not the best start. Currently looking to find someone on a hard lap. But we don't seem to find anybody, sadly. Chris looks like he's on an in-lap, so... out-lap, sorry. So we can use the time a little bit to watch him prepare for his lap. Or, what we can also do is we can look at his teammate. The winner of last week's race, and with that, the current championship lead in the Alpine. With the number 21 on it, as far as I was aware. We saw Williams jump into 9th. Alpine had a mixed weekend in Spain last week. Obviously, that sadly wasn't streamed, but that's why I'm here today, to bring you the action. To come back to Alpine, they had a really mixed weekend last week. Obviously, Raid, luckily enough to win the Grand Prix after Kimi Rai dipped out with a mistake after the late safety car. And Chris sadly DNFing that race, so sitting on 26 points. I'm not fully aware. But it'll all work out in the end, don't you worry about it. Obviously, after this quali session, just to make everybody aware, the screen will go black for a second with the scene I'm going to switch to, because I will have to change overlays. But it just means we can bring you even more action with that, considering the overlay we have here today. But now we're going to watch Raid's lap. After a small disconnect in his first time run, he's back here with about 6.5 minutes left in qualifying, and to see what he can do against RD's time in the first sector. Barely. Really close. Within the 10th. See how he navigates the S's here. Seems to be going smoothly. Obviously, we still have a few people without time. We have a Ferrari missing, and Raid and Williams, but they'll all come eventually. About 2 tenths. He loses another 10th in Sector 2. Now this is going to be a really important corner. The really long right-hander onto the really long straight. The straight that kind of ruined the 26 regulations for a lot of people with super clipping. Keeps himself all the way to the right. Goes back to the left. Brakes slightly on the curb. Hits the apex. And now only 1 corner remain. You can see how he uses his ERS. Last corner. Use the curb. And then where will it end? Third. He will split the Red Bull and its junior team. FS7 here. Kicksauber obviously doing the little Discord social media posts, announcing a lot. Let's see if we can follow up on the track. Spooderman in 10th currently. FS7 in 12th. The overlay does not seem to like this one here today because it doesn't give me a lap time. But where can this journey end for the Kick-Sauber driver? It is still 12. Kira improves to start. Goes back ahead of Raid, but just about. iHeart. Yeah, on Sector 3. Pretty sure it was one of the McLarens. Goes back into the pits. Gets his last set of tires to go out again in the end. Oh, Proto. That's not the line you take through turn 2. Let's see where the Merc is going. We see the deployment of battery. 2 green sectors. Currently in 9th. Down the long straight. Only here able to turn on DRS. Sadly, of course, the name not shown, but hopefully that will be improved for the next rounds. Either when I'm here or when Zabby is back to commentate everything. Gap Reaper is here. Meanwhile, the Merc goes up to 6th. Around half a second off the pole time. Prototype obviously went off in turn 2, so can't really expect anything to come here. Ferrari invalidated. Oh, that's what the X is for in the overlay. That's great to know. Drike starting his flying lap. 2 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. Everybody coming out with their last set of tires. Obviously trying to improve their starting spot. Or, in the case of Dre, actually set his first time. Ferrari from the highs of last season with partly RD Gamer and iHeart, who are this season in the Red Bull, to a rather difficult first weekend in Barcelona, and obviously today only with one driver here. But as we all know, the world of Formula 1, especially... Ah, that's another invalidated lap. Especially in F1 league races, everything can happen, and it only counts when you cross the start-finish line. The driver with the number 48. I think was the first one to go onto the circuit again, so he'll be the first one to start his flyer. Not great. The Williams improving to 9th and Chris improving in 11th. Those positions will stay now unless either of them can come back for a second one. RD Gamer improving in his first sector. The purple is there. What can he do in the other two? Obviously, Shanghai being a very, very technical circuit. Prototype is done for the day. Well, not for the day. Exactly the same time as Raid, but Raid set the time first, so he will be staying 4th. iHeart second, staying second. Strong drive by the second Red Bull. We're still here with RD second, purple sector. Spooderman improving in 10th. Kirai third in quali. Gap Reaper left the session again. Sadly, I'm not aware what all this is about, if he's now not driving or if he will come back. But we're watching RD Gamer. Is it an improvement or is it not? It's a 2/10 improvement. 1:32.313. RD Gamer is barely... iHeart is barely off the time. But first we have Ray. Ray's already on the last straight. 2 purple sectors for the Alpine. 1 more corner to navigate. And then we will see. Ah, okay, fair enough. Does Ray steal pole position? He does. 1:32.1. Now what can iHeart do? Really close to RD's time in the second sector, but that's definitely not enough for pole position. 3/10s off. Ray, by the looks of it, is starting from pole here in Shanghai, with Spooderman sadly missing the hairpin. The lap is ruined. And it's a really close picture to what it was a week ago when we were visiting Barcelona, with an Alpine in the front, followed by 3 Red Bull cars. Proto really strong in 5th. The Williams having a strong result in 6th and 8th. They also seem to have struggled last week, so they were able to bounce back. The Mercs in 7th and 10th. Juno having a strong result in 9th. Spooderman 11th. Chris closing in 12th. And then 13th FS7 and 3K. Probably with the last effort of a lap to actually start 14th. In, well, 14th position. A good chunk behind the grid. I don't need to go on the black screen. Alrighty. Now to change the overlay. And bring you guys back into race action. A host? Change of host? Did I disconnect again? Might have been. Yeah, probably disconnected again. That's unfortunate. I'll be leaving the lobby and rejoining it again to have everything definitely working. Just bear with me for a moment. Meanwhile, be happy to put your suggestions who might win this Grand Prix into the chat. Oh, it's a new lobby. Oh. see. Are we starting lobby after call? Ah, I did not see that. I did indeed not see that. Gotta reopen. Ah, great, the lobby doesn't exist yet. So we'll be sitting here for a little bit. We'll be sitting here for a little while until we can move into the racing lobby and follow up on the action. So obviously, with the new set of the lobby, there will be a tire reset. So we might see a lot more strategy involvement in the race. Maybe even including the soft tires. We will find out about that shortly. Good to know that the overlay is at least definitely active. That's good to know. But yeah, make sure to drop your comments on who you think is gonna win the race here today. We'll be looking into it. As soon as I can see the lobby is starting, I can slowly pull up the race preparation of slowly going back into the overlay. But yeah, of course that will have to wait a little bit. Juno has to manually set up the starting grid, and that might take a little while, but that might shorten the break we will have in the game itself. So yeah, let me see if I can cook something up here real quick. Let's see if I can cook something up here for you guys to make this break a little bit more surviving. But that obviously depends on the answers I'll get. Because if this takes a little while, we might have the chance to get someone in here for an interview real quick before the race starts. If they are up for it, of course. obviously, before I forget and it just turns out completely silent here because I have no topics to talk about during this little break, considering I have no championship to talk about yet, since it's obviously only been the race in Barcelona so far. I'll be looking to maybe get a little mate to have a small interview, hopefully one maybe of the big boys here have a spare of a moment for me. Obviously, I do not want to intervene with any pre-race preparations people might have, but it might be a little bit interesting. So far, we have seen quite the qualifying, actually. With a result that might not be all too surprising for the people that have seen the result of the qualifying we had a week ago in Barcelona, with Rate on pole, then RD, iHard, Kimirai in second, third, and fourth. Obviously, I'm sure the Aston Martins would be interfering with that a little bit if they would be here today, which sadly they're not. They will be missed and will be hopefully back in whatever circuit we have next that I'm totally not looking up here right now. Qatar on the Easter weekend. Which is great because it's Easter. Depending on how long this takes, I might just really quick do a small little thing. Alrighty. Just really quick implementing the calendar just so we can talk about it a little bit, and I'm not the only one who's having it open. So I do apologize for the little jump scare this might have caused for completely plopping it onto the screen. I hope you can ever forgive me. Obviously, last week I talked about it a lot. We had Spain. This week we have China on the nearly last day of March. Then starting April, we have Qatar, Japan, which is definitely going to be a really interesting race because those are both super fast circuits. Then we go back to the traditional circuits with a hat-trick of first going to Silverstone, then visiting Zandvoort, and last of that hat-trick of traditional circuits, we'll be visiting Spa-Francorchamps on the 10th of May. Obviously, also the month of the infamous Indy 500. But what we also have in May is the street circuit, which, if people from last season, from season 13, remember, might not have always been the best apple of the bunch. But Singapore obviously delivering a lot of action in recent years. As well as the circuit that comes afterwards. On the 31st of May, we have Austria on Spielberg. Across the street from Josh Revel's worst F1 circuit of all time in Zeldwijk. The first race of June will be visiting the United States in Austin, which MotoGP is visiting this weekend. Then, the last races are gonna be Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Once again, a really fast circuit. So this calendar is mostly about speed. And then we will end the season on the 21st of June. Hopefully with a really amazing season finale in Interlagos in Brazil. So, 12 race weekends. 12 hopefully really interesting races. One of them we already had last week. The second off we will have today, ending in June in Brazil, with hopefully a really interesting title decider when it comes to it. As already stated, the standings are not going to be that interesting, so we will just be quickly flying over them. At least the driver standings, as long as I don't see anything about a lobby start. Rate is leading the championship in front of... Oh, God, I'm not good with name pronunciations. Kazmarek in front of RD Gamer, Ian Hartman, or known as iHod. Mishko, then Protohype, Kai Hawker, Kimi Rai, obviously, who's had the really unfortunate end to his campaign last week. Kenzie Ham and Dylan Green, or Juno, finishing up the people who have points so far this season. And the others are currently still looking for the points. The first points finish. We had 18 people last week, or at least we have 18 people in the standings. Today we will be driving with, by the looks of it, 16 drivers. We're still looking if we can start it. King James seems to have finally joined the lobby. So currently we're just 15 people. We're looking into it. Hopefully we will be starting the race sooner than later. To give you guys a little bit of an overview, who is driving where, a little bit the drivers and teams for this race. Hopefully it'll all work out in the race. Also the technology for every driver staying intact better than during actual F1, as well as my technology hopefully staying with us, delivering you a great broadcast so far, and hopefully will be for the 28-29 laps to come. And then I hope we will soon be able to leave this technical difficulty behind us and move into the race, which by the looks of it, we will be able to do right now. Ready, so there we go. Now we're in the right thing. I was looking for a second, it didn't seem to have worked properly. But we'll find out as soon as the lobby fully starts if the overlay works as well. And then it'll hopefully not be too long until the race starts. We see it's overcast, so it'll be a lot colder than during qualifying. So maybe the hard tires won't be the best choice. We will find that out momentarily. Obviously, there are certain buttons I can press on my overlay, which I completely forgot about, because I haven't used this in a while. So we'll hope it'll give us the infos we need by default. We can see onto the McLaren garage this time with Protohype and Juno in it, after obviously Rate has been in their last season with Chris as team principal. Chris moved to Alpine, and so did Rate. Protohype, I think, taking over McLaren, and Juno accompanying him as a teammate. Alrighty, and here we go into the formation lap. 15 drivers we'll have here today. We're missing a Haas. are indeed missing a Haas, but we are able to see the tires, which is everything I wanted. Everybody is on mediums, so this tire stretch is completely useless unless your name is Christo Peterson. Or not that guy. Or Drike. I hit the wrong button. Ferrari on the back row. Chris having fallen back there, surprisingly. That's not... This isn't a MotoGP sighting lap. You're supposed to stay in position, so this is definitely not how or where he is supposed to be. But we can see the drivers warming up their tires, unless you're Williams and decided to turn into Kimi Räikkönen. You decide not to do it. Right, driver with the number 21 being on pole here in China. Judging by things I heard before the race, technically everybody in the top 5, maybe not Proto, I'm not aware, has something to do with this race. Kimura obviously not being part of the DRC F1 season by China last season, which was a sprint, which thank God we don't have here today. Raid bunching up the field, wiggling his Alpine a little bit. I don't know if this is a new way to warm up your tires and then drive onto that side of the circuit, which definitely at that part of the start-finish straight isn't the good side. And now it's time to park. Also, for, by the looks of it, I think King James, who is gonna be in 15th and is now parked. And then not too long after we will see the 5 red lights, and then we will go into the second round of DRC season 14. Good start from Raid. RD already tugging in. Kimi Rai taking his toll, and I heard there's already a kick. Sauber going wide. It's 3 wide. It's a collision. It's a big collision. It's a big collision in turn 2 and 3. The Williams involved, Prototype involved, a Merc involved, I think Chris as well. A lot of debris and a lot of strategies ruined. Chris also hitting the Mercedes in the background. Going 3 right in turn 2 is definitely not the way to go. Juno seemingly keeping his nose clean. No, he didn't. Lost his end plate on the right hand side. But it still goes better than a lot of people in the back. But this will definitely cause a lot of pit stops here. Prototype also losing his end plate. I don't know which Merc it is. He seems to still be fine by the looks of it. Going to the front real quick. RD Gamer outside of Raid. That does not work. Behind him, the pink AlphaTauri or Racing Bull of Kimi Rai iHeart. And then the Williams in 5th. With the first people obviously pitting. There's a Ferrari going wide. We'll probably find out in just a second who were the people diving into the pit lane. It was one of them. Sadly, Chris, he already started on the hards. It really depends if he has another set of the hard compound tires for this later season. It doesn't look like it. He's switching on to the mediums. Going back out. I'm really surprised there was no safety car for this because there were 6. Oh, Raid spins out! What happened there? Raid spins out in the S's and loses the lead to RD Gamer. We just saw it with the brink of an eye. but Raid throws away the lead. And now he has to play catch up. It is only lap 2. There's still 26 laps left in this race. But obviously, that's not what he wanted. Especially with the Williams in 4th. I don't know which Williams it is. But we'll eventually find out. Chris in 15th. That's all well and fine. But apparently I'm not able to know how to change drivers with my controller. It seems to be King James. King James is not the Ferrari. King James is in the Williams and seems to be 4th. As Kimi Rai takes the lead. And RD really has to save DRS right now. King James, as far as I'm aware, the teammate of Prototype last season in the Sauber. So we are well aware of his pace. Keeping himself out of the starting collision, which ruins so many drivers so far. But nothing's over just yet. FS7 obviously entering the pits, seemingly also having some damage. I'm also still really sure that at least one of the Mercs has been involved in this tangle-mangle in turn 2 and 3. But the leading group, Kimi Rai, RD, iHard, King James, by the looks of it, and Ray in 5th, and then both McLarens. We see here the usage of battery, we see the ERS blinking. There's no need to overtake just yet. Gino here. It's either Justin or Thunder behind him. 4 Mercedes-powered cars behind each other. Well, technically 5 if it was the 2026 version already. But sadly, that's not what we're having here today. King James, a little bit out of shape. Raid seeing his chance to go by the Williams. Can't do it just here. Behind the question of strategy, obviously. Oh, my controller died. I unplugged my controller. I do apologize. Behind the question of the tires also lies the question of how much fuel do these drivers put into their car. If they're underfueled, they have to hope for a safety car, considering the nature of the Shanghai circuit. I thought for a second I'm gonna get disconnected again. I did not want that. We're gonna go on board with the Alpine driver. Maybe he can film a lot of what is going on ahead. We also see that the Merc in 9th has a lot of ERS left. RD is really drained. Nothing interesting here, we'll see. On board with the Merc, is he gonna go for the move? Juno covers him off. No chance here right now. Back with the Ferraris, 11th and 12th currently. Still not the result they're probably looking for after all the results they were able to do and get last season. Going back to the front to see what the leading pack are doing before we go into the next rounds of possible overtakes on the last straight. Kimura leads. RD in 2nd, iHeart 3rd. We established King James is the Williams in 4th. In front of Raid, and then we're having the next group of 4 with both McLarens followed up by both Mercedes. I do like this purple racing ball. It's sad that we can make the color in the overlay purple. And it remains this ugly blue. Here we see King James. He's still blinking He is full of energy. He's able to use this full bunch of energy, maybe. But by the looks of it, once again, there won't be an overtake. Maybe here. Not at this time. Gino still covering off both Mercedes for his teammate. It's a really interesting group. It's only one mistake and this all can change. Maybe now. Maybe now. There is not much ERS left. Juno has to attack Prototype to save his own skin to the Mercedes. Side by side, the two McLarens, papaya rules hopefully don't exist in DRC in 2026. At least in this season in 2026. The Mercedes not able to pass the McLaren of Juno at this time. The front hopefully, probably doing a lot of saving game and looking at what they can do behind each other. This game obviously not being too kind on dirty air and everything involved. Oh, there's a Ferrari spinning. In the banger, we just saw it. But now we can focus on the next round of overtakes. The Mercs behind each other, the McLarens behind each other. Maybe there's some in-team battles. The Mercs are switching, are they? They should. Because one guy has more ERS than the other one. They're not switching. They are not switching. King James had an off-track experience. A big one. Sadly, did not see what happened. But the Mercs are doing their best Ferrari strategy impression, at least right now. Well, we now have Prototype in SIG. Hunting down King James, who is currently sitting now in P5, having released rate to the two Red Bull cars. Question obviously is Prototype prepared to keep Juno in his DRS? Or is he more focused on hunting down King James, who is having a bit of a wiggly car here right now. But Juno's also losing the connection to his teammate. With, by the looks of it, the Mercedes being more focused on each other than actually overtaking the McLarens. Meanwhile, up ahead it's getting a bit squabbly. RD Gamer. Really, really close. Rate is able to take this turn 3 so much tighter than everybody else in this race. And there goes the dive! Ray goes for the dive and hits iHeart in turn 5. We saw the lockup. We saw the lockup by the Alpine. Is there any damage on the Red Bull? Great, now being in third. Hunting down the leading pair. Well, not really hunting down. He's already there, but this move showed he is definitely in attack mode right now. What's Kimirai doing as defense? He's deploying. RD Gamer is still going. Not going quite for the move though. Can definitely see the people who are more focused on battery, like right here. Raid is able to take this corner so much tighter again. Is it gonna be the same move as we saw a lap ago? No. This time he bites his time for now. The first, I think, scheduled pit stop of the race for a two-stop strategy. Sees the Ferrari coming in, getting a second set of mediums. Next job at the long start finish straight. No deployment from Raid. RD Gamer almost out of ERS battery. Can see him deploying, but there's nothing to deploy. He is out of energy right here, right now. Right, not going for the move. Once again, way tighter exit. Way closer to the apex. Now he deploys. Now they're both deploying. Is it the chance for Raid? He does it. This time without lockup. Little nudge from RD in the rear, but Raid is back up into second position. It's making turn 5 an overtake spot. He seems to struggle a little bit out of this really long right-hander, but this deployment game is gonna be won by Raid, depending how much both decide to deploy. Raid already stopped, but he's going for it anyway! Raid instantly giving the ricochet to Kimirai, saying, if you push me or decide to squeeze me like that, I squeeze you as well. Have fun on the outside, my friend. RD going into the pits. Looking if this is also gonna be a two-stop race for him, or if this is gonna be the try at a one-stop. Seems to be the later option. Prototype going for the same move by the looks of it. Going onto the hard compound tire. Raid is leading. Ah, he did it again. He did his turn 4 move again. Turn 5. I keep missing 1 or 2 corners in this on this circuit. Prototype still fighting with the cold tires against the Mercedes, who does not want to lose the spot. Prototype covering the inside, locking up. Warming up the tires a little bit with this, it seems. We're gonna look at the front. Kimirai's open rear wing, looking at the leaders. Raid locking up his tires, making the corner even better than Kimirai a little bit. I'm not having the greatest of exits. Pit stop battle for the top 3. Kimirai is there. Who is gonna stop better out of the top 3? Alpine, Red Bull, or Racing Bulls? Gotta be the same distance. Juno losing out. Also pitting, not losing out. I apologize. King James now leading the Grand Prix. And RD Gamer's undercut might be wearing fruits here right now if he can attack rate this lap. Maybe the turn 5 overtake? No. The hard tires do need a lap. RD Gamer already has that lap on his belt with these tires. Does this mean he might be able to attack rate this lap and become the net leader? He jumped Kimirai with this undercut. The third place driver from Spain. Now, Raid obviously having a full battery, being hunted down by both the Red Bull and the Racing Bull behind. It might just be a bit too far, or is the straight long enough? The straight is not long enough, or the battery of RD Gamer is not full enough. King James now pitting, taking the extra lap out of it. Same as the Mercedes. RD Gamer fastest lap of the race. Raid being back up in front. Spooderman in 11th also now pitting, probably going onto the hard tires. Chris will have to go onto them again as well by the looks of it, or he goes on another set of mediums by lap 16 or so. He's pitting now. That'll probably be interesting to see which tire choice he makes. And we don't see it because they show us his rear ring. Thank you. It is the hard. So he is going back on the hard tire. Oh, a bit of a wiggle from Raid. Raid was well trained last season in the position of the hunted. RD seems to like being in the position of the hunter. Again, down the back straight. 0.5 of a second. They're still deploying, RD stopped. It's a bit too much yet again. But Raid goes wide. This might be the chance. He can accelerate properly. Swoops in front of RD Gamer. But now the chance is there for the Red Bull. Kimirai going with the fastest lap of the race. RD Gamer goes side by side, backs out of it. Has now obviously found food for the Racing Bull behind him. As Prototype also hunts down King James with, once again, the Merc in his rearview mirror. Spooderman gets a penalty for corner cuts, as we can also see in this beautiful tower. There are quite a lot of people with warnings. I heart sadly out of the DRS window. 3K also still close to King James. He obviously did not pit yet as far as I am aware. Once again, it's the 5/10 that RD is missing. Won't be a move just now. Here, there will be a move though. Prototype, 3K, the Merc also involved. Wants to go for the double overtake outside of Prototype in the hairpin. And gets hit! He gets hit by the Ferrari! Prototype also involved! Well, there was everything but smooth sailing. For the driver who was in 7th, not anymore. And the Ferrari now needs a new front wing. The season just goes from bad to worse for the team with the prancing horse. See how the stop goes. Obviously lose out also to Chris, going back down into 14th position. Can Kimi do anything this lap against RD? Maybe Ray breaking the slipstream. Kimi not making too much of it, deciding to, okay, you guys go, I'll save my energy. See you guys. Meanwhile, Juno behind the Mercedes. Which one? I don't know. But definitely close, and it's definitely a Mercedes. Juno not really using energy. You're looking at Spooderman, the driver with the second 48 of this grid. Seemingly having the same number as RD Gamer. Let's look at the driver with the current fastest lap in the pink car I like so much because it's pink. Sadly, I can't do that much as of right now, otherwise I would put a poll into the stream chat probably with driver of the day, otherwise I'll just pick it myself because I can. RD always loses just that inch of time. Alright, goes back to hug the inside, so we can all focus on the Papaya Silver Arrow battle we have right here. It's 12 laps to go after this one. King James having a loner race, but I don't think he cares. Getting a solid amount of points. Can Prototype do anything? Does Prototype want to do anything? He does want to do something. Going to the inside. Sadly, nothing as of right now. Those four have been just as much of a great battle as the top three have been for the entirety of the race. Now, can Juno do something? Again, attack is the best offense sometimes, and the Merc spins out. The Merc spins out in turn 1. I have to cough because I'm using my voice too much. Probably was contact. It's probably the same old story of then clipping the rear wheel of the driver in front. But could have Juno done something more to avoid this? That is something that's probably for the stewards to decide and not for me at the current moment. Now what we can see is that this Mercedes wants to pass this McLaren right now. While all the more bringing Proto back into this battle. Only 5 tons. Kimirai passed RD Gamer, by the way. We missed that, sadly. But this is just so an enticing battle for 6th right now. Now, with the longer-rated overtake of the Mercedes against Juno, unless there's a counterattack, maybe on the start-finish straight, but Juno also still driving with the front ring M plate missing from what I'm looking at. Yeah, there's still the M plate missing. Have a small chance to go back to the leading triangle of Raid, Kimirai, and RD Gamer. 3 different teams fighting for the lead in this race. The question now is how much tires or how much is left on the tires they are currently having on the car. Is there going to be a late safety car like we had in Spain last week? Which could shake this race wide open again. Can Kimirai go for the attack? They have both more energy than RD Gamer. RD Gamer has to save eventually. I think these two are way more in saving mode right now. Oh, this might have been a warning for Kimirai. We're not fully aware, sadly. 10 laps to go in this race. Raid's favorite spot in turn 5. Just a little aside now before we go back on the straight. I think this is the second offense for Mercedes. I think they're getting a penalty from the DRC stewards this time around. The same goes obviously for the Williams, I think. Now we're back on the straight and we're back to grade breaking of the slipstream for Kimirai, who does absolutely not care about this whatsoever. Raid. The tires completely locked up. Going back to 8th place now with 9 laps to go, where we see the Mercedes trying his best against Proto Hype. Wants to keep 7th, obviously. The Mercedes going by for now. Proto Hype giving the counterattack and the switcheroo. Now what can the Mercedes do on this start-finish straight, fighting for 7th place? Nothing for now, as it seems. But Juno wants to go back into turn 2, now turn 3. Wanting his bite back of the cherry, going back with a great move around the outside. Is there room for a counter attack of the Merc? No, Juno covers it off, staying in 8th position. Great, great move. Obviously, we can't forget Spooderman's time penalty might bring in the Ferrari back into the mix for the last point of this race. And speaking of battles between Kick Saubers and Ferraris, we have it here as well. With a Ferrari I'm not fully seeing so far. Apparently it's only 1 second. But that seems to not be fully correct. Ah, Thunder having a penalty now in 9th place. So the Mercedes in 6th currently is Justin hunting down King James the best he can. Is there gonna be such a big battle? I don't think so. I don't think the McLarens are gonna intervene with each other's races. Or are they? Prototype getting weakly there. Getting a good bit out of shape. Juno having a chance of a little escape. With Thunder behind. That is not Spooderman behind them. It's FS7. Now the next round of battles down this straight. Still 6 laps to go. What's happening here? FS7 gives up on circuit. What was going on there? Ay, 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 ay. Wasn't the fine British ways. The Thunder now completely out of the mix in 9th. Making it more of a McLaren home cruising in 7th and 8th, unless Thunder still has the tire and the drive to get back at the two Papaya boys. Which Prototype locks up here. That's definitely not helping the tires. And Thunder is closing in. Definitely the faster one. Question is, did the Ferrari do the second stop and nobody else is doing it? Was the Ferrari the only one on the 2-stop? Well, obviously not, because Chris also 2-stopped. With the people who had to pit in lap 1. Thunder going wide. Kimi Rice side by side, nothing between them. That was close. Five laps to go after this one. Are Raid's tires giving in right now? Gotta remember, RD was the first one to pit. But Raid seems to be the first one to lose his tires. Not a race to remember, not a race of glory, but they are still don't make me lie. 8 races remaining to bring to redeem yourself. Don't worry about it. I'll probably have to send a letter of apology to the Merc though. 5 laps remaining in this race. The lead or the win not decided at all. Kimirai going to the outside, Raid covering the inside. Now the good all switchback approaching the corner. Raid already lost the car once. Kimirai going into the lead. Raid side by side. Keeps the car pointing the right direction this time. Change of lead. With the Racing Bull going back into the lead of the race in lap 24. With Hawk sadly getting the next penalty. Now Kimirai having to play the defending game. That won't work. Ray just saying thank you very much for warming the place at the sun. I will be taking it back. Oh, now Kimirai gets a bit out of shape. Are they at their limit with their tires here? 4 laps remaining. Ardina also seeming a little bit impatient behind that Racing Bull. Raid probably kind of hoping for them to now fight against each other so he can maybe escape the wrath of both of them. But it's a calm and collected drive so far by the Alpine driver. Did his little mistake, but fought back strong so far, finding himself back in the lead of this race. It's a really, really strong start of the season for the Alpine driver so far. Depending what's coming out of it today, might just make it even more impressive, making him the person to beat in the season. In this season 14 of DRC F1. Nope, that's the wrong person. Here we go. Inter-team battle. Ferrari. 13th and 14th. Who gets the golden pineapple? Between the prancing horses. Currently it's 3K. Obviously after the DNF of FS7, the Ferraris being the ones in the back, on the back of the grid. Regardless if Chris can do anything more to maybe challenge for some points. It doesn't look like it. Looks like Spooderman's pretty safe in 10th as well. With Thunder not being able to hunt them back down again after the Kicksauber decided to slide into the battle. Always with that little lockup. It doesn't help the tire, but it also doesn't seem to harm him enough that he can defend himself from the approaching two drivers. With this now being the seemingly last battle in the field, with also the McLarens now being separated. Thunder approaching the rear of Prototype though. So we gotta keep a lookout on that. This overlay does show it. I will have to do it like this though, because I use a custom one. So the Ferrari has 10 seconds, with the other three drivers with the red exclamation mark having 3-second penalties. Hopefully in the last 2 laps, or 1.5, no one else goes into that category. Oh, it does show. Fastest lap. Fast lap. Oh, here we go. Kimi Rai locking up both front tires this time. Here we go. Warnings and time penalties. I found it. For the final lap of this race, we're going back. Wherever I find it, GK gets another penalty. Going back to the interval. This has way too many layers, this overlay. Hopefully I'll work it out if you guys have to deal with me another time this season. Here we go. The Merc passing Prototype, who fights back, sending the Merc a bit white. The Merc of Thunder, but he gets it done by the looks of it. Oh, and goes wide. Letting Proto back by. Last chance. The Ferrari can now play a very important part. If Raid actually gets DRS of this driver. The Ferrari might have decided this race just now. The rear ring stays closed, but the Ferrari gives enough slipstream. But stays in the way! What's going on here? So much for the sides the winner, but Raid gets through, wins race number 2 in this season. Kimi Rai hitting the wall after crossing the start-finish line. Prototype still in the battle with Thunder. As King James crosses the line in 5th. Great result. Justin getting 6th. Thunder wants this 8th place on track. Again, around the outside he has to go, because there is simply no room giving on the inside. No chance for a switchback though, sadly. So on the road as well as off the road. P8 for Proto, P9 for Thunder. The last point, well, it wasn't really that much contender this race, besides the battle he had with the Ferrari later on in this Grand Prix. Spooderman gets 10th. Sadly, the Ferrari pitting again, though, should be added. Otherwise, this battle might have gone a lot, or in a very different way. Kimi right now parked on the start-finish straight, which isn't really optimal. Alrighty, going back onto this part of the screen, closing my overlay. closing sim up, and then we can enjoy the podium celebration of Raid, who probably will not be sad that the Dutch anthem is played again. Sadly not here though. But gets another trophy for the cabinet and for the cabinet of Alpine, who had a really difficult season 13, but now goes 2 out of 2. Kimi Rai getting his first podium of the season, and RD Gamer finishing 3rd again. 3K having the most overtakes. Rate obviously winning. The fastest lap goes to Kimi Rai. Justin, the game's driver of the day. Mine is a bit different. I would give it to Kim James, finishing in 5th, and RD Gamer being followed up by the game, obviously, the cleanest driver. Here we have the result. Raid wins in front of Kimi Rai, RD Gamer, iHeart, King James, Justin, Juno, Protohype, Thunder, Spooderman gets the last point, Hawk in 11th, Chris, Gabriper, and DRC finishing the race with us losing FS7 earlier. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the race action today. If yes, and of course, if you want to be part of this league, join the Discord. I'm pretty sure the link to the Discord is in the stream's description. Obviously, follow the Twitch, right? The races are usually streamed, but I don't have a Twitch key for Twitch, so I was here today on YouTube. I hope I was able to entertain you guys well enough to not be bored. The race definitely wasn't boring, and with that, I wish you guys a beautiful rest of your evening. But looking at it, there might be a little bit more content for you guys today. Just bear with me for 1 second. Maybe. We'll find out. Maybe there's a little bit more content for you guys. We might get the race winner here into giving us his thoughts of the race. If he's up for it, of course. Ah, God, EA music. Obviously, this being the winning car of the day, the Alpine. I was currently just looking at the race winner, but it's probably quick interviews for the people who decide they want to give one. I don't have too much time, sadly, as I gotta fulfill some other duties, as well as other live streams. But yeah, if some people do want to, don't be shy. Really depends on the people though. They want to. Yeah, obviously having the car of the winner of this race, the Alpine. I don't know the model of the car. We'll give it a minute or two and see if people want to or not. Seemingly people can't find the cooler room, so oops. Ah, there we go. There are the people. Let's see if Rate joins us here as well. Then he will get the start of this round. Obviously, come first, get first. Bringing back old DRC traditions of the interviews. Not only the top 3, obviously, but there he is. There we go. The winner of...
you are muted.
I am not...
Just for the record.
I'm not muted. Ah? Oh, how am I muted? Hello?
Muted by what? Hello?
Hello?
Oh, I can hear you now. Yeah. What the fuck?
I was definitely not muted, but the winner
Yeah, my fault.
of the Chinese Grand Prix. Walk us through a bit. How was this race?
I'm happy there was no safety car to surprise, just like in Spain. But yeah, pretty solid. I could follow the strategy I wanted. So, but I had to really defend from Kimi. I mean, just basically the whole race, and RD as well. Yeah, I mean, and the spin at the beginning didn't really help me, so that put me back. But I climbed up just before the pit stops, and yeah, I recovered it. So back-to-back wins. Let's hopefully keep it going.
Alpine dominance might bore fans, or
Yeah, maybe.
About
the Alpine sandwich.
About the spin though, because it's a bit of a personal interest. Did you bottom out, or did it just go bye?
I clipped the inside curb, and it gripped up, or it slipped. Like the tire slipped up, so it spun me out. But yeah.
Luckily, it's a bit better than Spain, where on the inside you have a tire wall, like rightly at the point where you can spin. And you had
I had lucky there was some runoff on the grass, and I could rejoin as well immediately. So
any plans, as last question, for what to take into next week at the Qatar race?
I'd say just keep going like this. I mean, there's nothing bad about winning, so I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing now, and then hopefully keep the streak going.
Well, that's fair enough. Oh god, my controller disconnected again. All right, thank you, Rate, and congratulations to the second win.
Yes, thank you.
All right, stealing the next one. But first, I gotta change the car in here to show. RD, hello.
Hello.
It's the... Correct me if I'm wrong. Well, apparently it was a very boring race if you're yawning like this.
No, I'm just tired and... I don't know. I feel like I could have done more and didn't.
Well, the second, third race, walk us through a bit. Second, third place for you this season, as far as I'm aware. Walk us through the race a bit.
Medium stint was pretty good. I was able to maintain with them, and I felt like my tire wear was actually pretty good on the mid stint, so I went for the 1-lap undercut. Got stuck in the trenches for a lap, which was fun. Well, maybe not the whole lap, but it costed me time. Then found the front pack again, and tried the battle rate a bit. Started draining my battery too much, so my plan was, I'll let Kimmy by on the straight, recharge my battery, and save my tires. And then for the rest of the race, I decided to touch grass every lap and kill my tires.
Yes, the biggest weakness of a sim driver, grass.
I touched way too much grass, but it was still a fun race. We drove away from everybody else. I just made too many little mistakes that added up in the end. But Red Bull 3-4 again. I'm very happy with double top 5.
That's fair. You seem to never really recover from draining your battery too much. You were always like, at least from the looks of it, like 20-25% down on the others.
Yeah, I eventually realized that, but they were so like from how last season had gone, a lot of the front pack for majority of the lap was just battery off, and we got to just coast, save tires, and then I basically got to decide, all right, I'm pushing now, and it worked. This time, Kimmy decided he didn't want to wait and just kept pushing and pushing every lap, and I just couldn't keep up. I had to drain the battery to just maintain DRS, so I just couldn't get him on the straight because of that. I was using too much battery in, I think it was Sector 2, just to keep up, and doing so, I was touching the grass. It was just a messy race, but a messy race with a P3 I'll take, I guess.
That's fair. Same question as with Raid. Anything you and maybe your teammate as well take into next week at Qatar?
Well, it's 2 3-4s for Red Bull, so I think we're pretty happy about that. Qatar should also be strong for me. I thought today would be a little bit stronger, so 50-50, but I've already been putting in some Qatar practice, so I think the momentum will be take home another double top 5, and I'm going to hope to battle for the win this time.
Alrighty, then I do appreciate your time, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
Alright, as we wanted to end this earlier, I will end it like this again. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this race. If yes, and you want to take part, consider joining the league. Link obviously being in the stream description. Hopefully, you also enjoyed this broadcast, the first one of the season. Next week, probably the usual commentator of Zabby will be back. Yeah. I hope you guys have a really great rest of the racing. Sunday there is today, obviously the IndyCar race that starts in about an hour and something, and the MotoGP race starting in just about 3 hours time to my awareness. With also, this is not the last DRC race today, but it will be the last DRC Assetto Corsa event today, with the last round of the DRC Formula E Championship in Berlin Tempelhof. If it gets streamed, I don't know. We'll find out. I thought I'd just mention it. With this, I wish you guys a fantastic rest of your day, and who knows, maybe we'll see each other at a later point of the season. With that, a great rest of your Sunday, and keep